So we will hear two presentations, one from Bruk. Bruk heads Telebr within Ethio Telecom. Instead of waiting, I would like to invite Bruk to start the presentation.
Are Fintechs threat or opportunity to conventional banks? So I will be covering what is the best experience in the industry. I'll be talking about main parameters that categorize fintechs and conventional banks. So I'll be covering some few inputs on what categorize fintechs and conventional banks and what are the strengths that they can share or leverage among themselves. So we'll be looking into the technology and innovation aspect, the customer experience aspect, the range of services they provide, the regulatory framework, and the trust and reputation. So how these parameters are aligned when it comes to the fintech and the conventional bank and how they can leverage this part. So when it comes to technology and innovation, fintechs are known for an innovative idea, or they are tech-oriented while they do their business. And when it comes to conventional bank, of course, banks have such experience, but we can say that there is a slow to adapt such technologies, even though they are currently catching up and investing a lot in digital transformation related initiatives. When it comes to customer experience, fintechs are highly dedicated in delivering a seamless customer experience because they carefully work on the customer touch points and experience. This is not, just to be clear with, I'm not talking about the Ethiopian context, but these are the hard facts or the concepts that are being shared globally. So when it comes to conventional bank, they provide more financial services. They might be struggling in assuring agility, but of course they are concerned on the customer experience. But compared to the fintech ones, there are a lot to be considered. In the range of services, fintechs are highly focused on segmented services or niche services associated with payments and the like. When it comes to conventional bank, they provide a wide range of financial services. It could be saving, credit, an investment, and the like. When it comes to regulatory framework, fintechs, they have some challenge in anticipating regulatory-related frameworks. But when it comes to conventional banks, they have well-established capability. Since they are operating in a heavily regulated framework, they have ample experience that can be leveraged. When it comes to access to capital, it is very obvious for the conventional banks, they have well-established source of stable capital source. But when it comes to fintech, they should be working on crowdfunding. They should be able to find access to capital from different mechanisms. And when it comes to trust and reputation, this is very important. One of the advantages for the conventional banks is that they have a very long-standing brand recognition, adoption, and trust by customers because they have a very long track records. But when it comes to fintech, it's very hard to gain trust and loyalty from the customers because they have to come up with the necessary relationships. So from these points, what I want you to take the point is what is there as a fintech, as a strength part, is going to be a complement for the conventional banks. And it's the same for the conventional banks. The strength that they have is going to be leveraged in the collaboration process by the fintechs. So the line between fintechs and conventional banks, it's not always a clear cut. You cannot say that that they cannot cooperate or they are always competitors. Mostly conventional banks are embracing digitalization and the like, either by acquiring fintechs or by having a strategic alliance with fintech so that they can expand their digitalization. And maybe sometimes fintechs might acquire a banking license where they will be able also in the position to provide different financial services. So I wouldn't say that fintechs are traits, but there are a real perception, or these three elements are perceived traits for the conventional banks. The first one is disintermediation. So when it comes to fintechs, conventional banks, they will consider that everything that will be managed through fintechs, it will result on this intermediation. Example, fintechs might connect, when it comes to lending, they might connect lenders and borrowers directly without the need of intermediator. We will see the context in our country. Is it really going to be a threat, or it is actually an opportunity based on the regulation that we have? The other part is competition. So fintechs, as I have mentioned it earlier, they have the capability of coming up with an innovative idea by targeting niche services, by carefully designing the customer touch points, customer experience. So by doing so, there will be definitely some market share related concerns. But is that really a challenge, or is it something, an opportunity that can be leveraged through collaboration? But these are the perception considered as a threat. The other part is customer experience, consumer expectation or customer experience. So this is a threat. Fintechs, they will empower conventional banks to advance the customer's experience in digitalizing the banking sector. But if we fail to adapt such things, customers will definitely be less attracted to a given bank or even fintech. So these are the perceptions that we need to look into it. So I wouldn't say that these are traits, but we need to carefully align and consider these parts. The opportunities are very clear: collaboration, digitization, innovation, and the regulatory compliance that I have mentioned earlier. So I'll not take time. This is very common for you. Allow me to use an Amharic say, "Lekabari mardat" is a very good term. So this is not new for you, but we need to be careful and understand that the banking sector, the financial service, is not new for Ethiopia. It is a world industry. So the benchmarks, the best experience should work for our country's context. So if you consider JP Morgan Chase, the giant, even they don't position themselves as a bank, they are one of the best US-based financial institutions offering a number of financial services. They have partnered with WePay for the digital payment part. So in doing so, they are actually improving their customer experience, adding value and digitalization. So this is one of the best experience that we care. You can consider Singapore TPS, the UK Barclays, even having a startup initiatives focusing on fintech. You will find a number of use cases in Europe, the Spain, Citibank. You will find it, you can take a note later on, that a number of them are partnering. Either they are acquiring a fintech or creating a strategic alliance so that they enhance their customer experience. So it's not a choice given for fintechs or conventional banks. Rather, it is a choice for the customer, because the customer, they do have a high level of demand in having a seamless service. So for us, fintech and conventional banks, we need to collaborate. We need to do business together and achieve our goals. When it comes to Africa, we have again the same concept, the same experience. The EcoBank, Standard Bank, ABSA, Equity, GT Bank, they have an amazing collaboration and success story by collaborating with fintechs that we need to consider for our case. And the other perspective is MNO-led fintech partnership with conventional banks. What are the benefits for the conventional banks? MNOs are well known for their big size of customer base. That can be leveraged by the fintech. So extended customer reach. When it comes to mobile banking, banks, they do have a mobile banking. So in collaboration with MNO Fintechs, the wallet to bank, the bank to wallet transaction is going to increase the number of mobile banking use cases for each banks. The regulatory compliance, the regulatory status of every bank being integrated with fintechs is going to add another value in the ecosystem, and innovative and agility is one. So what are the best experience that we have when we talk about MNO fintech collaboration with conventional bank? Safaricom, M-Pesa, and CBA is one of the great success story that we all Africans proud and talk about, and we learn from it. The same is true with Airtel Kotak, where Airtel mobile money is integrated with the bank, with a bank link concept, where the wallet is directly integrated with the conventional bank account. And the customers, both customers are enjoying a real-time transaction and access to various financial services. The same thing is with Orange, Telenor, MTN mobile money. So these are the very common ones. And when it comes to our country, of course, we have some gaps. We're not publishing such fintech and conventional banks partnerships. You will hardly find to do this assessment. While I was preparing this PPT, I have to check everything. You don't find it. You don't find it in a given resource. But MBR was the first mobile money partnering with microfinances before 16, maybe 15 years ago. This was one of the amazing start. And Kfia Muchu with Cooperative Bank of Oromia with related with the lending. Amole Moneta, a fintech company working with Dashin Bank, offering a mobile money service. Hello Cash, again, it's another one. Iber, and again Teleber, partnering with different banks, with 27 banks, payment gateways. By integrating ATM at the cardless service is one of the success story. By digitalizing the remittance from the SWIFT concept into the digital way of doing the remittance is one of the partnership. Teleber being partnering with Dashin Bank and Commercial Bank of Ethiopia for the digital lending is another success story that we are doing at the country. So the collaboration for financial inclusion is one thing. It will result in increased into banking service. Mobile wallets for the unbanked societies, they will be able to get service. Inclusion will be assured. Digital payments and remittance, microfinance, small business, SME loans and related. And the digital financial literacy related gaps will be addressed. So the collaboration will definitely result this one. And I'm sure we wouldn't position it as a trade. The fintechs are adding value for the conventional banks, and conventional banks are really adding value or creating an opportunity for their customers or for the overall digital landscape expansion. So opportunity is the only option that we have. So, but saying this, fintech is an opportunity for conventional banking, but depends on how banks embrace and adapt the change brought by fintech. This is very important. So I believe during the panel discussion, we'll have a fruitful discussion. I'm done with my presentation. Thank you very much.
I think Bruk has set the scene quite well. It is room for collaboration and partnership.